Hello everybody, welcome to our midweek assembly this week, and this week's assembly theme is respect. Now we had a few problems on Monday's assembly, so some of you may have missed part or indeed all of what I was saying on Monday's assembly. So I'm going to follow the same theme today. I'm going to break down our value of respect into the different components that we think are most important for being respectful. Only today I'm going to give you some examples and where I have seen these things around our school already this week. Firstly, we treat all adults and children with respect. And on Monday we described how, unlike friendship, you might have a different amount of friendship to some people than to others. All adults and children deserve an equal amount of respect, no matter who they are or what they are like. Now, I've seen some respect between adults and between children and children this week that I wanted to share with you. The first one I will share is when Mrs. Batten and I were both on our way up to the top site on Tuesday. As we were approaching the steps, a young man from Year 6 was also on his way up at the same time. Not only did he say good afternoon to Mrs. Batten and good afternoon to Mr. Dyer, but he also stopped and said after you to let us up the steps first. A really simple thing to do. It wasn't difficult for him. He did the whole thing with a smile on his face, and afterwards both Mrs. Batten and Mr. Dyer felt positive and good about the day, just from that little simple demonstration of courtesy and respect. So thank you very much to that young man. We love it when people say good morning to the teachers and to the adults around school and show politeness and respect like that. Thank you. I also saw today, on Tuesday, respect shown between two children. Working in Year 5, we had to move seats for one particular child for one reason, which meant that he was sat next to someone he doesn't normally work with. And actually those children you wouldn't normally see working or playing together. But throughout the whole day, those children not only got on well with each other, but worked together really well, and they both learned lots all through the day. So even though they weren't necessarily the closest of friends, they were absolutely respectful to one another all day, listened to each other and learned from each other. So thank you to those two people for showing respect as well. And the next element of respect in our school, when we break it down, is that we follow the instructions of adults at school. On Monday we discussed why this is important. Because adults give instructions for lots of different reasons, but the most important reason is to keep us safe. So that's why we must always unquestionably follow instructions that adults give us when we're working with them. I saw a really good example of this on the field on Tuesday lunchtime, when a mealtime assistant had asked the children not to dig holes in the field. In fact, Mr. Davis asked to let all the children throughout the school know that he doesn't want us digging holes in the field anymore at this time of year, and that's because he wants to put seed down so that the grass can grow back after all the little fun holes we've dug. And what we don't want is for the grass to grow back much lower than the grass around it, as that will cause trip hazards. So please don't do any more digging of holes on the school field. The same goes for the bank. We're not going to go on the bank anymore at the moment. That bank is very important as we go into the rainy autumn season, as it stops any water from flowing from our field down onto Spiders Lane and the houses beyond. And the trees on the bank have been slightly undermined by some of our enormous hole digging, and we wouldn't want any of those trees to get wobbly now, would we? So can we please stay off the bank and not dig holes or play with sticks on the bank over there by the field? Now these instructions were given to the children today on the field, and as I walked up to the field I saw that there were two children from Year 3. Year 3 now, I wanted to say Year 2 then, but all of you keep growing up. They're in Year 3, and I thought I could see them up by some of the little holes digging again. I thought, oh, and I'm going to have to go and ask them, give them an instruction not to do any more digging on the field. But it turned out that they were right next to the holes, not in the holes. They were actually gathering little piles of, they were using their imagination, they were gathering little piles of foods for the local animals and the local nature, but they were deliberately playing near the holes so that other people wouldn't go digging the holes too. So they had really followed the instructions that the MTAs had asked them not to do any digging in the holes, even though they wanted to. So thank you to those people today for following the instructions of adults at school. The final one to talk about is we respect and look after our community. And we talked about this on Monday being done in a number of ways. You can see some of them in the photographs there. I've seen some good examples of this over the last few days. Mr. Dave, who I've just mentioned, has been very busy in our early years area. He's been helping to improve our environment still further up there, and that's included digging and planting and things like that. So he's been showing respect and looking after our community. I also noticed today that this morning when I walked across the field, I keep saying today, I'm referring to Tuesday. As I walked across the field on Tuesday morning, I noticed one of the football goals were broken. I thought, I wonder if anyone will do anything about that today. And as I walked back up at the end of the day at about 3:45, I noticed that it had been repaired so people could use it. I have no idea who repaired that football goal, but somebody saw that it was broken and did something about it. And that's what looking after our community takes. If you see something that needs sorting out because it's untidy or broken or in the wrong place, make sure that you're the person who sorts it out, please. I'd like to see a little bit more of that from our children going forward, especially including picking up bits of rubbish or litter that you can see around. That leads on to our final element of respect, that we all have an important role to play in our school. It's everybody's job to respect our community, and that's what I'd like you to discuss now with your class teachers. Where have you seen good examples of respect in your class so far this term? And what extra things could you do over the next few weeks to show respect to our school? So I'd like you to discuss that now, please. Where have you seen respect in your school already this term? And what more can we do to respect our community? Thank you for listening to me today. I'll see you on Friday's assembly, where we'll be celebrating, hopefully, some Values Cup winners for the respect that they have shown.